So this is the assessment paper, March 2024 model key answers for science class 9. So sorry for the delay in the video. So first part A, physics. So the SI unit of force is it joule, is it ampere, is it Newton, or is it Hertz? The answer is Newton. The value of acceleration due to gravity of Earth is it 8.8 ms to the power of minus 2? Option B, 9 ms to the power of minus 2, or is it 9.8 ms to the power of minus 2, or option D, 10.8 ms to the power of minus 2. So the right answer is 9.8 ms to the power of minus 2. The third question, the audible range of sound in human is it 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, or is it 200 hertz to 2000 hertz, or option D, is it 20 kilohertz to 200 kilohertz, or is it 2 hertz to 20 hertz? So the right answer is option A, 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So moving on to the next main, answer the following question. So the weight of an object on earth is 36 N. So what would be its weight when measured on the surface of the moon? So the weight of an object on moon, which is equal to 1 by 6 into weight of the object on earth. So we know the value of weight of an object on the earth, so which is 36. So 1 by 6 into 36, when we calculate, we get it as 6N. So that is the answer. So next question, fifth one, suggest a method to decrease reverberation. The reverberation can be reduced by covering the ceiling and walls of the enclosed space with sound absorbing materials such as fiber board. So you would have seen in movie theaters or in amphitheaters or in your school theaters also. So you have these fiber boards which have been fixed to the walls. So why are they? So they absorb the sound. They absorb the sound material. So which is the fiber board. Okay, so that because it doesn't echoes. It doesn't echoes in the auditorium over there. So next, answer the following questions. So we have for 2 marks. The motion of two motor vehicles are given in the graph A and B. Which graph is showing the reach of 20 kilometer in shortest time and why? So graph A shows the reach of 20 kilometers in shortest time as the motor vehicle here travels equal distance in equal intervals of time. So uniform motion. Define kinetic energy and potential energy. So the energy possessed by a moving object is called as kinetic energy. The energy possessed by a body due to its state of rest. So how it is? It is in the state of rest is called as the potential energy. So eighth question, what is an echo? What is the minimum distance to hear an echo? An echo is a sound caused by the reflection of sound waves from a surface back to the listener. So echo is a sound caused by the reflection of sound waves from a surface back to the listener. So the minimum distance to hear an echo is 17 m from the source. Next, answer the following questions for 3 marks. So draw a sketch, a distance time graph of a moving bus with the help of the following data. So the bus travels in a uniform motion. Okay. So next B point is it reaches a distance of 20 kilometers in 40 minutes. So C, we have the data. It takes 80 minutes to travel a distance of 40 kilometers. So when we draw a graph, so we have to see to that the time and the distance. So distance in kilometers and time in minutes. So when we take each box as 20, 40, 60, 80 and 100. So we have in kilometers 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you can draw the graph. Put the points and draw the graph. Car falls off a ledge and drops to the ground in 1 second. So let G is equal to 10 ms to the power of minus 2. So they are asking, so what is the speed on striking the ground? So next they are asking what is its average speed during the 1 second. So next they are asking how high is the ledge from the ground. So for A, speed on striking the ground. So time taken by the car to drop to the ground, which is equal to 1s. So G is equal to 10 to the power of m. G is equal to 10 ms to the power of minus 2. So U, which is equal to 0 ms to the power of minus 1. So which is being given over there. So next A is equal to G. So V is equal to U plus AT. So V is equal to U, we got the value as 0. And AT, which we got as 10 into 1. So which is equal to 10 to the power of ms to the power of minus 1. So average speed during 1 second, which is equal to U plus V divided by 2. So 10 plus 0, 0 plus 10 divided by 2, which is equal to 5 to the power of 5 ms to the power of minus 1. So next they are asking how high is the ledge from the ground. So height of the ledge from the ground, which is equal to h. So h is equal to ut plus half at square. So u, which we got the value as 0 and t as 10. So plus half into 10 into 1 to the power of whole square. So which is equal to, so 10 zeros are 0. So then when we calculate half into 10 into 1, which is equal to 5. So 0 plus 5, which is equal to h is equal to 5m. The ship of a nation drowned in a deep sea. So to detect the sunken ship, so this ship is already sunken. ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗಿದೆ, bottom of the ocean ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗಿದೆ. So sunken ship, another ship was sent to that place. So then name the device used to detect the sunken ship. So what is the device? Name of the device? Sonar. SONAR. So so write the abbreviation of the device. So sound navigation and ranging is the abbreviation. So expand ಮಾಡಬಾರದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದೇ abbreviation ಅನ್ನೋ word ನ ಅರ್ಥ. So how it works, explain. So sonar devices consists of two parts, namely the transmitter and the receiver. So transmitter ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? Transmitter produces and transmits ultrasonic waves. So these ultrasonic waves travel through the water, and after striking the target, the sound waves are reflected back and is received by an underwater detector. So they send the sound waves through the water to the target. What is our target? Our target is the sunken ship already, which is there in the deep sea ocean bed. So then the sound waves are reflected back. So it comes back and it is received by an underwater detector. So last step, the detector then converts the waves into electrical signals which are properly interpreted. So these signals are taken back and then they can get to know where is the object exactly located. So next question. An object of mass 15 kg is at a certain height above the ground. So if the potential energy of the object is 450 joules, so find the height at which the object is with respect to the ground. So G is equal to m to m 10 ms to the power of 2. So m is equal to, so mass is equal to 15 kg, so potential energy they have given it as 450 joules. So PE, which is equal to mgh, is the formula. So potential energy, which is 450, which is equal to mass is 15. So G they have given as 10 and into h we have to find out. So when we calculate, so h comes towards the left hand side and 450 by 150, when we calculate we get h is equal to 3m. So answer the following questions. State Newton's 3 laws of motion and give an example for third law of motion. So first law of motion, a body at rest remains at rest and a body in motion remains in motion with a constant what all? Velocity, unless acted upon by an external unbalanced force. So a body is at rest, so it remains at rest only, and a body in motion remains in motion. How? With a constant velocity. So unless, until acted upon by an external unbalanced force. Okay, so if you don't, if an unbalanced force will put some pressure or the speed it gives or the direction it moves, until then it will be in a constant velocity in motion. So second law of motion, the net external force applied to a body is equal to the rate of change of its momentum. So the net external force applied to the body. So an external force is applied to a body. You consider it as a book or something, is equal to the rate of change of its momentum. So it changes its direction according to the force. So F is equal to ma. So third law of motion, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You know it very well. So example of Newton's third law of motion, when a bullet is shot from a gun, the gun puts a force on the bullet that propels it forward. So it helps to move forward, and the bullet exerts equal force on the rifle in the opposite direction. So you have seen in the movies, the bullet, as soon as it's shot, so the rifle, it takes a backslide. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So, and I would like to suggest, see the 3 laws of motion also, please see to that you write word to word exactly what is there in your textbook. Please don't change and make your own statements. It has to be exactly the same words. If some words are kept here and there misplaced, so the whole meaning might change, okay, and you might lose marks. So that is a suggestion from my side. So moving on to part B, chemistry. So compound among the following is hydrogen, oxygen, water, gold. So it is water. So this is a major gaseous component of the atmosphere, air. Of course, we know it from class 6. We are learning it is nitrogen. Answer the following questions. Wearing cotton clothes during summer is good. Why? See, cotton easily absorbs sweat from the body. The sweat from the body and clothes get evaporated easily also. So which leaves the cooling effect. So summer clothes are very much preferred during summer. I would like to suggest to all the students, please see to that you read your textbook. You don't know from which corner they would have selected the questions. So I prefer you have once at least you have to give importance to your textbook and read your textbook thoroughly. Suspension is unstable. Why? See, suspension is unstable because the particles of suspension settle down when left undisturbed. So when you disturb the suspension, the particles will start moving up and down. So when it is left undisturbed, so then it will settle down. See, for example, if you take one glass of water with a little bit of mud, so if you leave it aside completely, all the mud particles will settle down. So that suspension is, when it is undisturbed, it is stable. So when you just move it or shake it up, so all these small little particles will come up again. So this suspension is unstable. So suspension is unstable because the particles of the suspension settle down only when they are left undisturbed. I hope you understood. So what are isotopes? So atoms having same atomic number but different mass numbers are called as isotopes. So they have same what? Atomic number, but what do they have different? So they have different mass numbers. So these are called as isotopes. So how acid rain is formed? See, rainwater containing oxides of nitrogen and phosphorus and sulfur is called as acid rain. So answer the following questions. What is melting point? Mention the melting point of ice. See, the temperature at which solid changes its states to liquid at atmospheric pressure is called as the melting point. See, solid ice cube becoming water, it is the melting process over there. So the same thing we have been explaining over here. So melting point of ice is 273 K. Or so next, explain the proposals of Thomson's model of an atom. An atom resembles a sphere of positive charge with negatively charged electrons present inside the sphere. So Thomson's model of an atom. So atom resembles a sphere, you know the shape, of positive charge with negatively charged electrons present inside the sphere. Okay, so positive and negative charge is equal in magnitude. So how many positive charges are there? So that much only negative charges are also present over there. And therefore an atom is electrically neutral. So when you have both positive and negative charge in same number, so then it is called as electrically neutral atom. So part of oxygen cycle in the nature is given below, which processes are presented by. So the firstly combustion takes place, so next it is the respiration, next it is the formation of nitrogen oxides, and lastly for photosynthesis. So answer the following questions next. Draw the arrangements of apparatus showing the sublimation of ammonium chloride. Please refer the textbook. Okay, you have the cotton plug, then inverted funnel, then solid camphor you have. So next it is the china dish wash I have kept over there. So then the camphor is melting, so the vapor of the camphor, so then you have a burner and you have a mat and benzene burner over there and a stand and everything. So this is the sublimation process of an ammonium chloride. Observe the boiling points of two liquids of a mixture given in below table. A, which is 78 degrees C, and B is 100 degrees C. So which method do you suggest to separate this liquid and why? These liquids can be separated by fractional distillation technique, as the difference in the boiling point of the liquids is around 25 degree centigrade. So because of the boiling point is different, so you can easily separate them by fractional distillation technique. So next question, the electronic configuration of an element is 1s square. So then it is 2s2, so 2p6. So write the schematic diagram, its atomic structure, and name the element. So how many electrons are present in K and L shell? So you can see it over there. So the name of the element is neon. So K shell has 2 electrons. So L shell has 8 electrons. So answer the following question. So find out the molecular mass of calcium chloride and potassium carbonate using given data that atomic masses of Ca is equal to 40, Ce is 12, and Cl is 35.5. So 0 is equal to 16K, oxygen is equal to 16, and the potassium is equal to 39. So calcium chloride CaCl2. So next 1 into Ca, so which is 1 molecule, so then it is 2 molecules of Cl, so which is equal to 1 into 40 plus 2 into 35.5. So when you calculate, you get it as 111 U. So potassium carbonate, so K2, so 2 into K plus 1 into C in 3 into oxygen, so which is equal to 2 into 39 plus 1 into 12 plus 3 into 16. So when we calculate, we get it as 138 U. So part C, biology coming on. The cell organelle called powerhouse of the cell is it mitochondria, plastids, vacuole, or lysosomes? So it is mitochondria. So this is an example for airborne diseases. Airborne diseases, ಗಾಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಡುವ ರೋಗಗಳು. So malaria, cold, rabies, leprosy. So it is cold. The animals reared for the purpose of milk production. So it is cow and buffalo. Very easily you can tell it. So next it is, answer the following question. Write any two situations of spreading AIDS virus. So through blood transfusion from the infected person, from infected mother to the child during pregnancy. So there are many other different situations of spreading AIDS. Here we have mentioned only two. Name the local varieties of bees used for honey production. Apis dorsata, Apis cerana indica, Apis florea, Apis mellifera. So these are the 4 different varieties of bees. So answer the following question. Draw the diagram showing the longitudinal section of phloem tissues and label the following parts. So sieve plates and companion cells. So you can see the sieve plate you have, sieve tube you have, full phloem parenchyma you have, then the companion cells you have. So please draw a neat label diagram to get the full marks. So draw the diagram of an amoeba and label the following parts. Most easy diagram. So you can see the pseudopodia and you can see the contractile vacuole also. So answer the following question. Draw the neat label diagram of a neuron and label the following parts, which is the dendrite and the long extended axon. So common cold is called acute disease, but elephantiasis is chronic. Why? See, acute disease, ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ acute means small, means for a short period of time. So common cold does not last for a long time. Therefore, it is acute. But elephantiasis lasts for a long time, for the entire period of a life for some. And so hence it is called as chronic. Chronic ಅಂತ ಇನ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು? Cancer we can tell, and kidney failures, and all these things are chronic diseases which takes a long period, maybe sometimes the entire period of life of a person. But acute, very short, common cold or a cough or something like that. High blood pressure is non-infectious disease. Why? Because high blood pressure does not spread from one person to another through any agent of infection. So this is an non-infectious disease. Infectious disease from one person to other person. For example, cold, cough, and fever and all those things. But blood pressure, it's a non-infectious disease. So write the difference between manures and fertilizers. So write any two disadvantages of using fertilizers. So manure, it is obtained from organic substances. So what do you mean by organic substances? Dried leaves, cow dung, the kitchen waste, and all these things. Kitchen waste example, the plant waste, and all these things, animal waste. So these make up the organic substances. From these organic substances, we get the manure. But fertilizer, artificially prepared from chemicals. So it is prepared in a factory. So it is artificially prepared using the chemicals. So manure, it helps in protecting the soil pH. So soil also has pH, and it is very important that the pH of the soil should be very neutral. So what happens is, if it is more acidic or basic, it affects the roots of the plant. When it affects the roots of the plant, the absorption of minerals and water will not be possible by the plant. And if there is no like water supply and or nutrient supply, the plant grows very weak and it will not produce the proper yield. So manure helps in protecting the soil pH. So coming to the fertilizer, it decreases the soil pH. So what happens, using fertilizers more and more and more these chemicals into the soil, it decreases the soil pH itself. So if it becomes more acidic, so what happens is the roots will not develop properly, and the absorption will not take place, and the yield will not be proper, and farmer falls into trouble. So fertilizers should be in a limited manner. So these farmers should be more educated about the use of fertilizers. So manure, it increases the fertility of the soil. So what do you mean by the fertility of the soil? So when you use manure, this cow dung and all these things, so it is called as the black gold also. So once you do this compost and all, so what do you see? You see a black colored substance coming out. So this, when you use it, you can see the farmers also, they just spread out the cow dung, the plant waste and everything. So when it mixes with the soil, what happens is we get the manure. So this manure helps to enrich the soil. So the nutrient value of the soil will increase, the water holding capacity of the soil will increase, and the minerals, micro minerals and the macro minerals of the soil also will increase. So because of that, what happens, the top soil will be very enriched with nutrients, and the plants will grow very well. So this is called as the fertility of the soil, which is helped by use of the manure. So but what happens when we use fertilizers? It decreases the soil fertility, water holding capacity will be very less. So sometimes you can see, using more and more and more fertilizers, the soil becomes like sand. So if you pour water, it just comes out. Okay, so that soil has lost the capacity to hold the water. It will not be moisture. When you hold the soil, it should be wet a little bit. Okay, that is the soil holding, the water holding capacity of the soil. So the macro and micro minerals and all these earthworms could be, or the bacteria could be. So all these things, when it is present in the soil, so then only it will help the 100% growth of the plants. So this soil fertility which has to be in the soil will get decreased by more and more use of fertilizers. So last point of manure, manure does not cause water pollution. So manure, it is a natural base. So the cow dung it could be, or the animal waste, the plant waste, the kitchen waste, all these are very natural substances. So it will not cause any water pollution. But use of fertilizers, see first point itself, artificially prepared from chemicals. So these chemicals once used in the soil, and suppose if there is a flood or a heavy rainfall, so these actually mix up with the water and they flow through the streams and they reach the nearby ponds or the lakes, and these chemicals affect the water bodies over there, where the animals can come and drink the water and they might get affected. The pond ecosystem or the lake which has the aquatic organisms in them, the small little fishes or the frogs, they get affected, and it causes water pollution, which is very dangerous. So, last, disadvantages of fertilizers. It destroys the soil fertility, it leads to water pollution, it does not recharge the organic content of the soil, it is harmful to the soil bacteria also. So, I hope you have understood this answer. It's for a 4 mark. So circulatory system of cockroach is not well developed, justify. See, blood does not flow through blood vessels in cockroaches. So secondly, the body cavity is filled with blood itself. Okay, so moving on to the next, having both gills and lungs as respiratory organs is advantageous to the frog. How? So frog can breathe through gills also and lungs also. See, frog during the early stages of development uses the gills as respiratory organs. You would have seen the metamorphosis process which takes place in the frog. So the eggs after hatching, so they become the tadpole. So this tadpole, it looks same like a fish. So most of you have gone and caught this tadpole, and would have told your parents that, see, I have a fish in my hand, but it is a tadpole, it is a baby frog actually. So this tadpole, when in it develops in the water, so what happens, it uses its gills as the respiratory organ for some time being. So after that, completely it changes from the fish format with the gills and all, and it changes to a complete adult frog. So at this stage, what happens is, during the adult stage, it starts using its lungs for respiration as it is on the land surface. Okay, I hope you understood. So write the three differences between plant cell and animal cell. See, one thing I have seen, most of the students will study the table very exactly, but instead of writing plant cell, they'll write animal cell, and animal cell, they'll write plant cell. First, you decide how you're going to learn. First, plant cell. Okay. Cell wall is present in a plant cell. So, cell wall is absent in an animal cell. Cell wall is exclusively present in only plant cell. Put it into your brains. Okay. So, animal cell has only it has only the semi-permeable membrane which is present, or the cell membrane is present. Cell wall is absent in animal cell. So plant cell, it has chloroplast, so only it is green in color. Chlorophyll is present in chloroplast, so only plants are green in color. Okay, chloroplasts are absent in animal cell, so only we are not green in color. So chloroplasts are not at all present in animal cell, but these are present in plant cell. So centrioles are absent. So plant cell doesn't have centrioles. Animal cell, centrioles are very much present in them. Some dried raisins are put in plain water for some time and then in concentrated sugar solution. So what are the changes you observe? See, dried raisins, nothing breaking your head, it is vana drakshi antivalva now. See, the dried grapes what we have, those are only called as the dried raisins. So what will happen when you put them into water? So as water moves from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, where is higher concentration? In the bowl, it is in higher concentration. So when you compare it with the raisins or the dry grapes, So do you have more water in that? No, not at all. So what happens? The water moves from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, that is into the cell. It swells up, ಊದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, swells up due leading to turgidity. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So in the bowl you have more water, so that concentrated water will move towards the region of lower concentration, which is inside the cell of the raisins, and it leads to swelling, ಊದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ಇದ್ರಾಕ್ಷಿ, leading to turgidity. So later, next step, what do we do when we put it in sugar solution? So now we are taking, first we had taken plain water, now we are taking concentrated sugar solution. So what is more over here? The sugar solution is high. Okay, so the cell loses its water. So these raisins again we take and put it into the sugar solution. So the cells of the raisins lose its water and shrinks down. ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಊದಿದ್ದು ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ sugar solution ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ. So that is the cells become facet due to movement of water molecules from the region of cell to the sugar solution. So what happens? These the fattened raisins, fattened raisins which were filled with water, when you put these into the sugar solution, so they lose all the excess of water into the sugar solution and they get shrinked again, they get smaller again.